Hi everyone, my name's Dean Holcombe, the creative director at Cutler, and we're here with Heather Packer, who is the head of education for our editorial team. This is a new series called Behind the Scenes and Up Close. The idea behind this series is to get an in-depth account of the finished look. So today we're going to talk you through an extremely challenging situation where Heather had to recreate one of the looks at Tadashi's Fall 2014 runway show. The influence for the show was very much like a Moroccan feel, and the music you can hear in the background is a live recording from the runway. I'm in charge of documenting and filming the backstage and front of house footage. So tell us about the look.
The look for the Tadashi show was whimsical and soft. I feel like what I noticed when the girls were walking down the runway was airy bits and coming undone.
So Heather was in a really interesting position where she got given one of the models that had a very short, thick, one-length bob.
For me, when something like this happens, when a girl sits down in your chair and her hair is different and you need to make her look the same, you need to start with a plan. And that's where you can really draw and find information from the training that you have. So you want to look at the girl and map it out step by step. In this particular look, we noticed the long, soft bits trailing down, and so that's where the Easy Length Pro comes in. And we had to decide where to put those so that they would look natural. And we noticed there were some in the front and there were some in the back. So we mapped out and started where we were going to put those in, and that's where we start with the video.
Great.
Okay, we started in the front because there were soft bits, and then here you can see we're in the back. And I want to add too, it's really important to help each other on Fashion Week shows or anytime. You can see other hands in there, and we talked it through together. So we use little pieces of the Easy Length Pro to keep it soft. And you can also see in there that we left some of her shorter hair underneath to hide the tracks when we were going to put it up. And now you can see in the video her bob. We've let the bob fall over, and you can see how thick and blunt it is. So that was something that we took into consideration too with placing the little bits in. We had to be able to conceal the thickness of her hair also.
Okay, so you're back brushing the hair now.
Yeah, it'll create a bit of airiness with this brush. It's a little bit different than back combing. With this brush, it'll be softer and airier, but you're still creating a base because again, going forward with our plan, I know that I need to have a foundation to put pins in, so there needs to be a bit of that.
Is there a name for this brush?
I call it a lacing brush, a French lacing brush.
Okay. And
they're boar bristles also, so they're strong but soft.
Right.
Plastic bristles will do a different thing to the hair. The boar bristles are important.
A little bit more expensive?
A little more expensive and a little more challenging to find.
Yeah.
Yes, we're using the Redken Fashion Work number 12. It's a hairspray that we use all the time. I find that it has hold and has a dry texture, and it's still workable. I don't have to, when I spray it, the decision isn't made. We can still move and change it.
Right.
And I find with putting hair up, braiding is great to use as a base, and it's also great to hide hair when you have too much hair.
Yeah. So you're not using this braid to actually to be able to be seen, it's just literally to get the hair out of the way, yeah?
Yep.
And now you're starting to sort of pull the hair back and see how it's going to work.
And then in that you saw me using the French lacing brush again. You can use it for so many different things. Yeah, now we're starting to use her shorter bits to cover everything up and begin to see what the outside look is going to be.
Right. So what's going on here? You used a bit more product, the powder grip, it looked like?
Yeah, the powder grip is so great. Lots of hair care companies have that type of product, but I love the powder grip. And before we'd have to use so much hairspray and all kinds of other products to get this dry, airy, gritty texture. Now we can just put the powder grip in, and it gives some density and grit with backcombing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Right.
And then you can see now, this is where it starts to get even more fun, because all of those steps and pieces of the puzzle that you're putting together, it starts to, you've created something that now you can see the finished look.
Right.
Sometimes when you're in it, you're wondering, is this gonna work?
Yeah.
And now you start to see that, okay, it's gonna work. We can make this work.
Okay, so what's going on here? You're going to use this hair to cover over and make this short bob look like a long hairstyle.
Yeah, and this is also where it's really important that we had put our foundation in. We have all the powder grip in there and the hairspray and the back brushing, so that now when we go to pin it, the pins stay.
So it all sort of seems to be coming together now. You're rolling those top sections around that braid.
Yep, and begin to make her look like the rest of the girls. And this also is where the girls who are helping me, Emma and Sam, can jump in. And you'll see now, Emma, I asked her to start pinning and hiding and create softness with that roll.
And what are these pins called?
Right now we're using large French hairpins, and those again will only stay because the back brushing and also the braid is in there. So all those steps in the foundation are important to get those to stay.
Okay.
And now we're going to start cutting the extensions.
Okay, great. And you're using the straight blade razor?
Yeah, the straight blade razor is great for cutting people's natural hair, but then it's really great for cutting extensions. When we put the extensions in, it didn't look like we put a ton of hair in, but then once it drops down and you look at it, it looked like extensions. It looked kind of clumpy and thick. And I found when cutting extensions, even in my mind after doing it for a long time, I always cut more than I think I should cut.
Right.
So it looks softer. Yeah.
And I noticed you're working the blade very high up, close to the actual roll.
I wanted to take weight out and create softness. And we wanted the ends to look more natural and soft, just like a girl with long hair. By the time you get to the ends of her hair, it's going to be airy and soft. And by starting up closer to her head, it's more of a gradual, natural softness to create.
That's the thing. I mean, you did an amazing job of making this look like it was a long head of hair. You would never have known that this was a short one and thick bob at the end of the look.
And that's where I think too, being visual comes in. All the foundation that I've talked about and we talk about in education, you need to have a foundation, but then your eye needs to come in, and this is where you get to be free and see how it looks.
Fabulous. Thank you, Heather. That's been great, and the look is amazing. I think we'll wrap it up there, and Heather Packer in the hot seat.
Thank you.